Hello everyone and welcome to my second episode of the transformation. So the first one we learned how many different type of transformation we have, what does it mean, how it affect the pre-image and the image. So now today we are going to discuss the first one in detail, and that is translation. So what do you mean by translation? It's sliding from left to right, up or down. So it is the vertical or the horizontal shift. So when we have horizontal shift, you talk about right or left. When we have vertical shift, we talk about up and down the transformation. If they say that, okay, there is a image, the pre-image and the transformation in the image is a 4 unit right and 2 unit down. So this is called simple verbal notation. When you are just saying it and you are writing it as it is. When there is a functional or the coordinate, or we can say algebraic notation to that. So let's learn today how to write it in algebraic form, or the coordinate or the functional notation form. They are all the same thing, and we will learn uh, how to learn the transformation when it is in the mapped form and in the line form. So let's start. So let's first, what do you mean by translation? Translation means vertical or horizontal shift. Vertical or horizontal shift. So when we say right or left, we talk about horizontal. But when we say up or down, we talk about the vertical shift. So this is your vertical shift and this is your horizontal shift. So if I say that 4 unit right and 2 unit down. So from your pre-image, you are going to your transforming to your image, and this is your verbal notation. How to write that in the coordinate notation? So remember that x and y, you are talking about x plus minus a and y plus minus b. So what do you mean by A and B? What they represent? So A represent your horizontal shift. So if you are moving towards your right, you will say A is positive. When you are moving towards your left, you will say your A is negative. Same way, vertical is your B representation, and if it is up, you will say plus. If it is minus, you will say. If it is down, then you will say minus. So not only you will say, you will write it also. Sorry about that. It's not about saying it, about writing it here. So if I say that the image is 4 unit right, so means your x and y. Now your x is right represent plus, so plus 4, and 2 unit down, so down represent negative, so y minus 2. So this is your transformation called translation and pre-image to image. So now pre-image to image or original to new is the same thing. How we represent, we'll learn that afterwards. So till here, the only thing is it's a sliding, and you just slide right to left or up and down, and that's transformation. Does not change the shape or the size of the figure. So same orientation also, you are not changing whether it's vertices or orientation or the figure orientation. So that means the image and the pre-image are congruent to each other, and their angles are also going to be the congruency. So what actually the difference will be that the image and the pre-image will be parallel to each other. So now second part is mapping. Let's learn how to write when it's only given mapping form. So they have given the map that, so now map that -3 and -4 is now transformed to, you can say, 1 and 2. It can be any number. So let's, for example, now this is your transformation. Transformation. So now -3 means you have a number line and you know how it represents. If this is your -3, -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. So when you from -3 to 1, so whether you're moving right or left, we can see that. So you're moving towards your right, and you can count that from this -3 you have jumped 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 unit right. As I said that X represent right or left, that's it. Now your 4 is transformed. Now the new position for 4 is 2. So let's again take a number line, and if this is your 4, 3, 2, 1, so now you are moving 2 towards your downside. So it is 2 unit down. So now how will you write in the coordinate notation form? That means your x, y is moved to 4 unit right means x plus 4, and 2 unit down means y minus 2. So this is your coordinate notation for this transformation. Means any number they can give you for x and y. You just have to add 4 to your x value and subtract 2 your y value, and you will get the image. So they can give any different value of x, but the notation x plus 4 and y minus 2 is fixed, and you just have to substitute the value for x and y, and you will get the image from pre-image. Now third example, what we can say, that there is a line. So now a line is given and coordinate notation is given. That is the third example. So for example, x and y, coordinate notation is given as x plus 5 and y minus 2. We can take anything like y minus 2, or let's say y minus 3. It doesn't matter. You can take any example. So now it is given that the xy has been transformed to x plus 5 and y minus 3. And they have given a line. Now line is given where y is equal to minus x plus 4. That is your line which has been translated to x plus 5 and y minus 3. So let's have two image of the pre-image of the line and the after translation the image. So what is your this one? So you know, for this x and y we can write as, let's take 0, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Just take 4 points. So for x, when x is 0, 0 plus 4 is 4, minus 1 plus 4 is 3, minus 2 plus 4 is 2, minus 3 plus 4 is 1, and minus 4 plus 4 is 0. So this is your line points. And now let's take the point for after translation of x plus 5 and y minus 3. So when x is x, new x and new y. So x is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, then y minus 3, 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, 3 minus 3 is 0. 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 minus 3 is minus 1. 3 plus 5 is 8, and 1 minus 3 is minus 2. And 4 plus 5 is 9, and 0 minus 3 is minus 3. So now we have two lines and their data points. Let's graph those 2 points. So now in our graph coordinate, let's have the image and the pre-image. So image will be in the black color and pre-image will be in the black color, and the new after translation will use green color. Okay, so x and y, so this is your 0, 0 original. So 0 and 4, so first point is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is your first point, then 0, 1 and 3, then 2 and 1, then 3 and 1, and then 4 and 0. So we have this line. Now, as I said, we will use green color for our translated image, that is 5 and 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, then 6 and 0, then we have 7 and minus 1, 8 and minus 2, 9 and minus 3. So this is your after translation. So you can see the lines are parallel. If you increase, if it's a line and going and from minus infinity to infinity, they are parallel to each other, right? So the parallel means the distance between the two lines is going to remain same. So when a pre-image is moving in the same direction with the same distance, that what is translation is all about, which is not going to change the orientation of the figure or the vertices, or is not going to change the size. So this is all for translation. For the next part will come for reflection. Bye bye.